Okay, so now that we're back in the game after I crashed it, I'm gonna show you what to actually do once you have Backers mod open and running and ready to make cinematics. Um, so first of all, you're obviously just gonna find the shot that you wanna edit. So in this case, it'll be the one that I've marked. I don't actually know what this clip is. Um, So, once you've got Backers mod installed as well, you'll be able to use this button. For me, it's the @ sign or apostrophe on the keyboard, and that'll open this little console here. Now, if you have the latest version of Backers mod, the Dollycam plugin should already be installed and running once you open Backers mod and Rocket League. In which case, there's a couple of commands that you'll need to type. One of them is exec dollycam, which will be a config which has a lot of bindings which you'll need to be able to make cinematics like much quicker than without using this. I've also added, you can also add custom bindings if you want to make it easier. So I've added a few of my own that make it easier for me. So you're going to do that, and that's going to say that you've got a bunch of things you can do now. So to sum this up, basically, if you press the up arrow on your controller, that'll place a marker for the dolly cam. And that's pretty much the only useful one. After you've placed all the markers, it says there that number pad 1 and number pad 2 are dolly_activate and dolly_deactivate. And once you place all your markers, you're just going to want to hit numpad 1 to activate the dolly cam, and then go back to before you to the start of where you place the markers and then play it. So I'm going to now make a quick cinematic of this shot. So I'm going to set it to 10% speed and just lower the FOV a bit. I'll do. Okay, so now I'm going to hit the up arrow on the controller to place the first marker, and then I'm going to play it. And then I'm going to hit it again. And then again. And then again. And then again. So you can see it's quite simple. It's just, obviously pressing the up arrow. And then now, once you've done that, you should see this path here. And this path will show you where the camera is going to pass through. I've got reshade enabled, so I'll just hide that. So you can see the path clearly. Now, this looks obviously quite linear, and also it'll show up while you're recording. So to hide this, what you want to do, open up the console again. You're going to do dolly_interp mode 1. Alright. And then now, this will make the path smooth. So as you can see, it's now a curve rather than completely linear. Okay, well, we'll ignore that snapshot. I don't know why it's moved over there suddenly. So what you're gonna want to do now is to hide the path, dolly_render 0. And then now, if I go back to where the path is, you can see by all the collection of markers on the timeline. And now, if I press 1 and just play at 10% speed, the cinematic is going to run. But let me just make a better demonstration because I messed up the path. So to delete the path if you don't like your cinematic, just dolly_path_clear, and then you'll be able to remake your path from the start. So I'm gonna try and recreate the same cinematic again. So 10% speed, just place a marker, next one, next one, next one, last one. So now I can go back, press 1. You also don't have to type in the commands again for dolly_render and other stuff. So now I'm just going to set it to 10 again, and then just make sure it's activated. Yep, and now you can see you got a smooth cinematic of the car flying. So obviously it's going to take you a couple of attempts to get it right. But a little tip that I've sort of been using recently to make more complex cinematics, which is most of the ones in all my tiers 2, is to keep a little count of the time interval between each marker. So say I place 1, then I'll count 3 seconds in my head, pause it, place the next one, count another 3 seconds, and place the next one. That way it's sort of evenly where I want it to be. Otherwise it can mess up the positioning of the car and other stuff. So other things you can do with the dolly cam as well, this is obviously going to be once you're more comfortable with it, is you can start changing the rotation and the FOV midway through the cinematic. So if I set this to 10% now, and I'm going to put the FOV quite low, like 25, and have it rotated like this. So I'm going to place my first marker here, next one here, next one here, next one here. And then now, before I place this next one, I'm going to change the rotation so it's the other side, and I'm going to increase the FOV. The scoreboard button's the same as the change FOV button for me, by the way. Change the FOV to like say 80 and place another marker. So now, if I go back and play it, this should have the FOV change over the course of the cinematic. So set it to 10. And you can see the FOV's changing and the camera's rotating, which can add some nice angles, and you can definitely do a lot more creative things, and it can add a nice feel, like things like the vertigo effect and stuff like that. So that's basically it. Obviously, just use the bindings, and if you don't like your path, dolly_path_clear, and then the commands I mentioned earlier. In the video, like dolly_interp mode and dolly_render, that'll help you. Obviously, that'll be essential to actually getting a smooth cinematic. There are other features of the dolly cam, but they are. I don't know fully how they work. There's another type of interp mode, but that it's quite buggy from my experience, and it didn't really work, so I decided to not include that in this video. And obviously, if you're using reshade, make sure to factor in the depth of field, because as you can see, it's blurred there. I want to make the path where it's close up, so you can see the cars in focus, and the background's blurred out. Obviously, a lot of different factors that make cinematics nice. You know, just you could use this in combination with my basic cinematic tutorial to make some pretty good cinematics. But either way, I'll probably cut this part here, and I'll go to another part about backers mod in general, and probably end this video off.